Hey, my friends, what's going on? It's a beautiful day. Just taking a quick walk in the woods, and I was thinking about perspective of how sometimes we can use our past, our experiences, and the things that we have become to understand to give us a different angle on life. It's an amazing thing of how we mature over time. And I got to reflecting about this just a few moments ago, and it's surprising about how different you think about things now than you did maybe even a month ago or a year ago, and how you may appreciate things a lot more than you used to, or that you may realize you need to make a change that you thought before was something that you wouldn't even consider to change. I mean, life is really interesting, when you really stop and you look at the dynamics of how things work, like how do things come together? And things just happen a lot of times in ways that you could have never predicted. And that's why a lot of people say that, reality is actually more mysterious and more amazing than like science fiction, just because you just sometimes couldn't even think up how life turns out. And I think even mainstream science would agree that a lot of times the things that they find out through observation just amazes them. It's just, they can't even explain it. They don't really understand it, really. They just know they're seeing something that is just amazing. And a lot of theories, especially like in science, are just the best effort at the moment to explain what people see or what is being experienced. And I think that for us, it's kind of the same way as science, that we may not really understand what this is all about, but in our best effort to make sense of it, we create our own theories. And I think that it is made in part, obviously, from our perspectives and experiences that we develop our frame of reference of what we consider our standards. And this is a very difficult topic because it's so wide in scope. It's easy to just veer off and fall off the cliff when you talk about this. I mean, even right now, I've almost lost my train of thought because you kind of want to go in like 50 directions when you talk about perspective. But we all have our uniqueness. And I think we have to continue to embrace that as we walk through life, and also gather what we can from those around us and the world, the natural world. There's so much here. There's so much compacted. It's almost like things are layered. And you have to come back to things sometimes 10, 20, 30 or plus more years, or even 50 years, if you're older than I am. And you come back to things and you're like, how did that happen? And it's possible that you might even figure it out if you have enough time, to do it. But things are so relative sometimes to each other, And it's not to say that things aren't absolute in some ways. Maybe some things are absolute and some things just aren't. But it's really interesting, though, about how we kind of struggle, as a creature, I was going to say humans. I mean, obviously we're humans, but just as a creature of nature, that we struggle like all the other creatures in different ways. We obviously have our uniqueness to how we struggle, but we still struggle on some primitive way of trying to make sense of things, or to try to get on with surviving this life and getting our basic needs met. And then once we get our basic needs met, we kind of forget about needs, or at least the basic needs, or the lower echelon of needs, and we always just kind of like work up. We're trying to trying to constantly better ourselves, because I think we do obviously know that without growth, we're really not living, you know, at least that's not how we define living. We have to have something to grow into. And that's a big thing for people that are very stagnant in their life. They don't have anything going on. There's no growth. And so they feel like that they're dying inside because there's no process being pursued or going, you know, they're not going through a process. And I think for a lot of people, process is even like multiples more important than end results. Of course, you do want to have results in life. You want to achieve goals. But a lot of times for some people, and well, for all people, but to different degrees, going through the process to obtain a goal is really where the magic is. Because, you know, at just a drop of a hat, a goal could be accomplished. You may be working on something for 10 years, and then all of a sudden you finish it. So finishing doesn't really have that much weight. Besides, you can say, well, I'm finished. But to go through the process, that was the whole journey. You know, that was where it was at. And so that's just what I was thinking today. And what do you think about this, about process? I think it's underrated. And I think that sometimes, you know, when we say that we've completed a goal, that maybe that's a little overrated. Anyways, I hope everyone's having a great day out there, and hope the sun is, you know, shining brightly and that it's not too cool. If you guys have any information about winter, 2017, let me know. I'm kind of curious. I've been getting a lot of different conflicting pieces of information that, you know, winter is going to be horrific in America. And then some people say, well, it's going to be mild temperatures, but higher than average precipitation. So I'm just getting a lot of different pieces of data. But yeah, I mean, if you've heard something that seems to be pretty much based in reality, let me know in the comment section. Thanks for swinging by and checking out the video. I'll catch you later.